A lot of news regarding Frontiers of Pandora dropped today from the devs that were given access to all future Avatar film scripts, a tease at an upcoming featurette that talks about the canon events of Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, as well as a behind the music featurette that shows us some new gameplay. Avatar Theory here, I hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, and all of the specific elements will be timestamped in the description below and the pinned comment, and all of the sources will be linked there as well if you just want to jump to a specific section. But firstly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's been supporting my channel over the past few weeks, from commenting, liking, and subscribing to my channel. It really does mean a lot to me, and I hope you enjoy all of the Avatar content that I have planned for the future. Now, jumping into the first bit of news, this coming from comicbook.com, they talk about the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora devs that were given access to all future Avatar film scripts. The article goes as follows, quote, "With Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, the developers at Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment have been focused on creating a game that feels like it belongs to the same world." In an interview with comicbook.com, game director Magnus Jensen revealed that the team has one very big advantage in the endeavor. Since Avatar The Way of Water hadn't been released when developers began, Massive Entertainment had access to the film's script. Additionally, the developers were given access to the scripts for future movies in the series. The point wasn't just to ensure a sense of continuity, but to also make sure the ideas weren't cannibalized, stating, quote, "For us to be able to properly fit into the timeline, because we started work on this game before Avatar The Way of Water was out, yeah, we had access to the script, not just to Avatar The Way of Water, but some upcoming movies as well. Various amounts, of course," said Jensen. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First, the most important reason is that, we need to fit right in. We need to go there. We need to sort of gel and feel like it's part of the same world. There's a second very practical reason as well. As we pitch cool new set pieces and cool new story twists or whatever, we don't want to cannibalize on each other as well, end quote. So of course, it's kind of obvious that the dev team would have had access to the script of the future films, because it wouldn't make sense if they made things in the game that would conflict with the events of the second and third movie. I can only imagine the tight security, or basically how much of a watch the studio was having on Massive Entertainment, because of course, them knowing the script in advance, they would watch the studio with a magnifying glass to ensure that nothing gets leaked. I think it would be pretty awesome to know some of the information if you were working at Massive Entertainment, but at the same side, or at the same time, knowing the events of the movie would take away a lot of that excitement going to the cinema. But them taking all of this information and all of these scripts into consideration, of course they wanted to shape the game to be in line or to connect with the events of not only The Way of Water, but of course the future Avatar movies, which actually ties in very well with the next bit of news information. Now, this article comes from IGN.com and was written by Matt Perslow, and I've personally not read this article yet. I've only saw the headline, so I'm essentially gonna go over some pieces of the article and just give my thoughts again afterwards, and also talk about the video titled "How a Canon Avatar Game Was Created." Now, the article goes, quote, "Future movies in the Avatar series may feature elements that have been created by Ubisoft for its upcoming Avatar Frontiers of Pandora video game. The game, developed by Ubisoft's Massive Entertainment studio, is a canon part of the Avatar universe. Taking place in the newly developed Western Frontier, every new plant, creature, and Na'vi clan is considered an official part of the lore." Talking to IGN, creative director Magnus Jensen explained that the Western Frontier is no less part of the world of Avatar than what's in the movies. One of Ubisoft's original creations has already made the leap to a different medium. One of the species that we conceived and that we built together with Avatar movie studio Lightstorm Entertainment is being used in an Avatar exhibition that they did. But what about elements of the games appearing in the movies? It looks like that's also a possibility. There's already some talk about maybe using some of the stuff that we did in the upcoming movies, Jensen revealed. As part of a media event at Lightstorm Entertainment, the studio behind the Avatar movies, producer John Landau elaborated further to IGN on what aspects of the game could make their way across into the movie series, stating, quote, "I think clans are a perfect thing to someday try to weave into the movies," said Landau, referring to the 3 new Na'vi clans that have been developed by Massive for Frontiers of Pandora. But down the road after that, new environments, going and really saying, okay, let's now take what you did in the video game and explore that in the movies. Additionally, Lightstorm also confirmed that elements of the next Avatar movie can be found within the video game, stating, quote, "I can say that there are going to be some future sequel elements in Frontiers of Pandora that will pay off when the movie comes out, when Avatar 3 comes out in 2025, revealed Joshua Izzo, Rizzo, Lightstorm's Vice President of Franchise Development. Careful Avatar fans who have played the game will want to go back and maybe revisit certain things because it will be revealed to them in 25. End quote. It's currently unclear what will be shared between Frontiers of Pandora and the upcoming film. However, due to the game's canon status, nothing is off the table. Creating a game world and storyline that is completely canon to the Avatar universe has been a huge focus for Massive Entertainment. IGN has spoken extensively about this with the development team and staff at Lightstorm, and this weekend we will premiere a short documentary about how the two companies work together, how a canon Avatar game was created. Will be available on both watch and read on IGN from December 3rd, and then they just continue about the time and talking about the story documentary. So of course this is a lot of information to take in. We knew that there were going to be some elements tying into the game. I mean, in some of the previous developer interviews they said that there will be mention of Jake, there will be mention of General Ardmore, and honestly I thought that it was going to be the extent of it. There was just going to be mention of the battle at the Hallelujah Mountains. There were maybe going to be mention of some of the stuff that happened in the Way of Water, some of the battles, some of the final battle of the second movie, maybe even a mention of the recoms, maybe even we see some maybe like a video log of you know a recom or something to that extent. I thought that was going to be that was going to be it, but it seems like there's a lot more that's going to tie into the third movie, and of course we wouldn't exactly know what everything is that's going to be tied into the third movie until we see, well, the third movie in 2025. So it'll be very interesting to watch the third movie and then coming back, like they state in this article, coming back to this game and see what ties in with the game itself. I do wonder, I had a theory that Ubisoft is of course going to do the two DLC pieces in 2024, the two DLC packs that comes with the season pass, but I had a theory that they're going to do like a massive expansion in 2025 that essentially connects the game more with Avatar 3, and it's not out of the realm of possibility because Ubisoft did the same with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. With the season pass it came 2 DLC expansions, and then they did Dawn of Ragnarok, which was a massive expansion to the game, which was released outside of the Ultimate Edition, outside of the season pass, almost like a standalone game on itself. And I can see them doing something like this for the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora coming out in 2025, because then in 2024 we have the 2 DLC packs, and in 2025 we have this massive expansion that essentially ties in the game more with the third Avatar movie. And then of course, depending on how the game does and everything, we might get sequels in the future. I do hope we do see a lot of sequels for this game because we're gonna get Avatar movies until 2031, so I would love to see this game running eventually on like a PlayStation 6 and maybe 7 by 2031, but time will tell on that one. Now as for this video, this inside story, this how a canon Avatar game was created, the video itself gives more of a teaser. It's only just over 1 minute long. Again, you can find the full article and video in the link in the pinned comment below, but the documentary will be released this Sunday on December the 3rd, so I do wonder how big or how long the documentary is going to be. I wonder if it's going to be like 5 minutes or if it's going to be like a 20-minute full-on documentary. I do hope it's going to be a long documentary. I will certainly watch the documentary and break down everything, all the new details that we can find from that documentary, but this is certainly exciting news for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Now as for the final bit of news for Frontiers of Pandora, there was a behind the music featurette that was recently released on the YouTube channel Geek Culture Plays, which again I will leave a link to in the description below, and it was pointed to me on Twitter/X, and if you want to, you can give me a follow on Twitter/X. And in this video they, well, talk about the music of the game because it is a behind the music featurette. But what is interesting about this video itself, it's roughly 5 minutes long. There is quite a significant amount of new content, new gameplay in this video, and one thing that immediately stands out to me is that the music in the beginning of this trailer, you can actually hear them say the word Sorrento. Now the trailer opens giving us a better look at some of the Sorrento clan, where we hear the audio director talk about the music, and it's really interesting to hear how they talk about the creation of the music. It's always fascinating for me to hear about stuff like this and learn about stuff like this. But then the trailer jumps to a nighttime in Frontiers of Pandora, and we get a beautiful view of the plants, the trees, some of the new creatures, and I already know that I'm gonna spend a ton of time just walking around in the Western Frontier at night, just absorbing as much as I I can. We also hear the music supervisor talk about some of the creation of the music, while we see an image of what looks to be home tree and also a beautiful shot of the Ikran flying above the clouds. We then hear the composer narrate for most of the video, where we see some brand new shots of Minang as well as Nesim. Now, I don't believe we've seen this in any gameplay trailer or any early coverage yet. We also see an image of the Zaku, a shot we saw at the announcement trailer of this game, and then we just see some more of the Zeswa clan, and we also see our character interact with the creatures in the Western Frontier. Overall, not a ton of new content or footage in this trailer, but it is definitely 5 minutes worth spending. So overall, there's quite a bit of new information regarding Frontiers of Pandora, from a behind the scenes of the music, how the game is going to tie in with the movies, and of course the fact that the developers has access to future scripts for the films. As the game is just over a week away from release, there's definitely going to be a ton of information regarding Frontiers of Pandora releasing this week and next week. So if that's something you want to stay up to date with, then be sure to click that subscribe button. But what I want to know from you is, as the game is going to heavily tie in with the movies, what are you hoping to see, or what connection are you hoping to see from the game to the movies? Are you hoping to see some of the characters cross over with the movies? Maybe some clans, some creatures? Do you hope that they visit the Western Frontier in the movies? Let me know in the comments below, and for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.